I'm so tired of this rhetoric. This, we do the jobs that you won't do, coming from Mexican Americans to Black Americans. Now, for the sake of the fact that I love tacos, burritos, I love Selena Quintanilla Perez. I'm not about to be disrespectful to Mexican people when I have this conversation with you. I'm just not going to do it. I am going to be assertive, but I'm not going to do what I hear so many times the Mexicans doing to us, especially if y'all are familiar with California and the way people deal with Mexicans deal with and handle Black Americans, um, which is by and large poorly. Okay. But I can't return that because of the respect that I have for Mexican individuals and the parts of Mexican culture that have touched my life personally. I just can't return the hatred. You can say that I'm being too soft and you may have a point, but I can't do it. My Negro humanity, the African American Negress in me, it just won't let me do it back. Okay. But I just got done listening to a panel where a Mexican girl was yelling at a Black American man about how, well, you guys are jealous of us because we know how to be hustlers. We know how to be hustlers. We do the jobs that you don't want to do. And you know what? If you know, we if it's not enough, I make tamales. I make tamales, and I sell those. And I laugh to myself because my dad, rest in peace, used to also make tamales, and he made some of the best tamales in Alexandria, Louisiana, and Black American man. And he made those tamales while he was working and also going to school at the head of his class with a 4.0 GPA. I get sick of this conversation that you were fed by mainstream America, by anti Black America, by the powers that be, by the people who claim whose religion is white supremacy and manifest destiny, commissioned by the Catholic Church itself. I get sick of you guys talking like this because you leave out the nuance every time. What makes you think, as a Mexican American, that Black Americans don't want to do construction? Because by and large, y'all are holding it down in construction to the point where no matter how hard we apply, we can't get hired. Construction pays well. What makes you think we don't want to build a house, build a road, an apartment complex? What makes you think Negroes don't want to do that? Fool. What makes you think we don't want to? Let's talk about kitchens. Let's talk about these restaurants, these five-star restaurants that Mexicans dominate. I remember I used to work at a place called Daniel's Broiler, and the manager of our kitchen was a wonderful Mexican man who was also the manager of yet another restaurant that was called Ascend in Bellevue, Washington. He was the kitchen manager for both. He was the captain of both ships. What makes you think we don't want those jobs? Because this is where you work. This is where you work. Even when it comes down to some of the cleaning ladies, right? You had J Lo doing the little Latino maid in Manhattan thing where she was a maid in Manhattan. What makes you think that the American Negro thinks they're too good for janitorial services when we have historically done these jobs? Why so ignorant when it comes to where we are? Can't I just tell you the reason we're not in so many of these jobs? One, because you lock us out. Keep it all the way a buck. We can't walk into a goddamn KFC, a Taco Bell, a McDonald's, or nothing. If it's completely Mexican, Hispanic, Latino, we can expect not to get hired. So don't sit up here and tell me that Black Americans think they're too good to work at McDonald's, because we don't. Actually, working fast food is a rite of passage for our teenagers, especially. It's not like we won't manage it in our 30s, but most of our kids, their first job is, how may I help you? Welcome to Good Burger, home of the Good Burger. Can I take your order? Burger King, Mickey D's, insert Whataburger, whatever. Fat Burger. The reason we're not working these jobs with you is because you come to this country and you undermine our struggles. So say that when you're talking about Black Americans not wanting to work these jobs, when we try to unionize and organize for fair pay, when we get our picket signs and we protest, you say, hey, I don't know what Jamal is talking about, but man, I'll clean these windows for half the price, man. I'll do, this and that for, hey, man. And you undermine our struggle, which would benefit you in the long run. When the Black American is saying, I know America, America has plenty, you don't got to pay people like this. Up these wages, homie. It needs to be a livable wage. And then the girl, she was so young, and maybe it's me as an aging millennial, but I get tired of these little kids talking like they know everything. Yeah, and when the job is not enough, I make tamales on the side. You people just don't know how to hustle. Nigga, we wrote the book on I'm a hustler. I'm a hustler, homie. Nigga, acts about me like you use that word because we use that word. This is not your first language. You use that word because we put it in your mouth. Because we prided ourselves on hustling. You think because you're making tamales outside that we're not somewhere braiding somebody's head for 13 hours because we're hustling too? Because we're a student and we're a mom and we have a full-time job and it's still not enough? You think we're not somewhere braiding the hell out of somebody's hair the way that you're making tamales? You think we're not somewhere making spicy bowls on the side because what we really want is a food truck, but we're not there yet? What is it in your brain that tells you that Black Americans don't hustle and don't work hard? I swear this country, the moment Black Americans stopped working for free is when we started getting called lazy and told we don't work hard. You think enslaved people, my enslaved ancestors, you think they were the only people who worked from can't see in the morning to can't see in the night. But nah, that happened way into the 60s. You just have no knowledge of that because you weren't here. You weren't here. It's disgusting rhetoric, and this is like, if you're gonna talk about, like tell the truth about us. I'm not willing to lie on you. Hell, when I die, I want to see Selena Quintanilla Perez, and I want her to embrace me, and I want her to be like, you know what, you never insulted my people. I want to be able to meet her and tell her what she meant to me and how much I loved her. I want her to be able to say, so I'm never gonna lie on you about who you are. Despite how many times Mexican Americans have damn near ethnically cleansed Black Americans from places like Compton, hmm? Ethnically cleansing niggas behind bars. Hell, it's prison culture. Tell me I'm lying. Tell me the Mexican stump a whole day don't exist, where you just start eliminating random Black Americans, calling our numbers. But if you want to know why we're not working the jobs that you are working, is because you came as migrant workers, as immigrant workers, as whatever it is, and you settled for far less. You settled for far less than what we were willing to settle for, to the point where you bottomed out the wages. And the Black American who built America knows I can't support a family on what this is. And so here you are as a Mexican man or woman working 3 or 4 jobs, bragging about it as your life passes you by. You got two full-time jobs and a part-time job, and your kids are growing up without you. Drinking alcohol at home, getting into things with all kinds of people that you don't even know about, because when you're home, you're knocked out and you're barely home because you're out here working. Quality of life sucks, but you get to brag on how lazy you're not. So when we sat there in your same jobs and same positions and we said, wait a minute, wait a minute, Maria, wait a minute, Esteban, we protesting. We trying to get more out of these people. Everybody knows what happens when you protest and there's a group willing to undermine you. Everybody knows what happens. It's like the Philly protests when the garbage men didn't want to clean the streets. The protests would go to shit if there were another group of garbage men saying, hey, we'll do it. Now, that protest didn't go well. That demonstration didn't go well, but it's an example. You can't make a point when there's someone willing to undermine you. You can't make a change when there's someone willing to undermine you. And that's what you have done. So say that. So many migrant, immigrant, refugee communities, they know that they can pay you less. They know that they can treat you like dirt. They know this. They know that you will put up with it. And the Black American says, you could do so much better. I could get you so much more if you would just unite with me. Our protests have worked. Our fights for our rights have worked. One of the reasons people were gunning for Dr. King is because you see how these waste management people, these garbage men, how they damn near start. I don't know what they make in your state, but our waste management men, they start off around $10,000 a month because it's hard work that they're doing. Now, before Dr. King got involved with, the garbage men's rights and things like that, these men were paid like nothing. Like they're not doing backbreaking work 12 to 15 hours a day. I mean, I was in a relationship with a garbage guy, and I'm just like, man, I low key don't even want to hang out with you because you need a nap. Back breaking work. Dirty work, the dirtiest work. Imagine being on the job and you dumping whatever, and it's a body in there. It's a baby in there. Trash. Brenda baby. What the hell? And Dr. King and the rest of the Negroes were like, hey, we not gonna play with these people who keep our society clean. We've seen the what Trump calls a shithole country. We've seen the countries with garbage all over the place, where everywhere you step is trash. We're not finna do that here. And because we understand that this is such hard work, we're gonna grease these trash man's hands. We gonna make sure they got some of the best health insurance because they're taking care of our society. These men who work for Allied and Waste Management over here, they got health insurance like the way doctors and nurses got health insurance because of an African American commitment to protest, to securing the rights of these men. And that's why now it costs so much money to even try to be a garbage man. You got to invest anywhere from nine to $19,000 in a CDL and a license for this and that, and training for this and that, and approval for this and that, because it's good money. Good Lord, once they secured the rights of these garbage men, they got real light. They got so light they got white. Used to be a black dominated job. And once we secured them rights to these specific kind of wages, people just refuse to hire us. That's literally where DEI comes from, because we're just like, we know these people are anti-black. We know that we can be overqualified and still not get the job. We can be at the level of qualified. We call it black tax, where you got to be twice as good to get half as much. And because we're aware of that, we're like, yo, Chicano, yo, Somali, yo, whoever, like fight for your rights. And you're like, nah, man, I got kids to feed. You don't know, we all got kids to feed. And you're gonna be working 11 damn jobs trying to feed them all because you couldn't take a little bit of delayed gratification. So say that. Oh, black Americans won't work these jobs. They don't pay enough. Swear to God, you don't know a barista who lives in her car because the jobs don't pay enough. Some of these fast food workers that damn near live in the office and in the back office, there all day, falling asleep on the job because they ain't got nowhere to go. People getting dressed for work to go work at McDonald's, getting dressed at the homeless shelter to go to work. Today's homeless, surprise, surprise, they're working. They call them the working homeless. These ain't jobless people. Sure, there are many homeless who are on the streets. They've got drug issues and mental health issues. I'm not talking about that. But the working homeless is a huge class of people in America because the wages are not living wages. And when the Black American protests, you say, oh, these niggers complain about everything. These unsatisfied, ungrateful niggers. Oh my gosh, I came here from my country. They live in the land of opportunity. I'll do anything to get over here. I'll do anything. I'll do anything. You can pay me half. I'm just happy to be here. And we're like, you know what? That's not going to do you well over time. That's not going to do you well over time. You're not going to benefit from that over time. And that's why your family, the girl who said this, had been here for 5 generations. And I'm like, that's why your family's been here 5 generations and you're still a hustler. You shouldn't have to be. You should be able to live life at a pace where it doesn't pass you by. There are so many people, they work, go to the gym, and go home, and that's all they have time for in their life because if they do anything else, they're going to end up compromising their job. Some people can't even work, go to the gym, and go home. Some people go straight from work to home and back to work again because it's all the energy they can muster. And you're shaming Black Americans because we want you to be able to raise your kids? What? Sign off on field trips, make sure the drunk uncle doesn't have to watch them because you have enough money to like, oh, well, I only have to work 4 days a week. I can be with the kids for the rest of the week, blah, blah, blah. I can take them to so and so's house and be a chaperone and monitor them and blah, blah. So say that. What you mean black Americans aren't afraid of mowing a lawn? Sis, sir, hombre, we're not afraid of mowing a lawn. We're not afraid of landscaping. You know how many black Americans have broken into home preservation? And the first thing they do when they get to an abandoned building or an abandoned home is clean shit out of the toilets? What makes you think in your mind that we're afraid of cleaning a toilet? I worked at a restaurant, I've cleaned a toilet. I worked at a restaurant, I've shut down a kitchen, a big ass industrial PF Chang's kitchen. It's like you're insane when you say these things. But sometimes we dip out of these fields for two reasons. Either we're locked out because you know, like I know, that Hispanics and Latinos are going to hire Hispanics and Latinos. That's all over Houston. Talk to any black construction worker you know in Houston and watch how the Mexicans dominate. And then you ha ha nanny nanny boo boo. You can't get this job, broke ass nigga. Locking people out, looking for any reason to fire niggas. Do you think that you're the only do you think we have the only community who's never worked an odd job? Do you think Black Americans are the only community who have never worked an odd job? You want us to be lazy so bad, and I don't get it. You want us to be lazy so bad. You want that to be the truth about us so bad. And I'm not saying Mexican people, I'm saying just people who are anti-Black in general. Like they want it to be true so bad. And I'm like, just tell a full story. Yeah, well, we stand in front of the Home Depot for hours looking for jobs. Yeah, well, Black Americans don't do that because they know those white boys aren't paying you what you're worth. They know people will make you do incredible labor for $20. Cost you your health, happiness, and sanity to the point where all you can do is drink and slap your wife because it's hard out here, ain't it? You know, we don't go there with Mexicans when you guys run these. I mean, Black American gangsters, where our gangs have dwindled. Like it's not even cool anymore. These wanksters is corny, but the way y'all be out here with these cartels and demanding bodies, if these drugs don't show up, if that money don't show up, we demand a body. I've been connected with these people who are connected from Cali to Seattle. I have unfortunately experienced these D boys and who sells heroin or this or that, who pushes weight, whatever. Unfortunately, I saw that for a few months out of my adult life. And the way these Mexicans were like, produce the money or produce my money, produce my drugs, or produce a body. Because whoever did it gotta pay. People shooting their best friends in the face because they're afraid of, you know, cartel and taking pictures and sending it to whoever, whatever Mexican drug lord, so they don't like we don't then sit back in our community and create decrepit stereotypes about you. We say, well, those are those Mexicans. And then we brag all about our Mexican students, right? Because I was a school teacher for a while. My mom worked in the schools for a while. Oh my goodness, you know, Esteban is my favorite student and you know everything he touches is just beautiful. I mean, oh, everything he colored a picture of a Thanksgiving turkey and that thing was so many vibrant colors and he didn't even color outside of the line, just gifted, just we're not comparing him to cartel. We're not, oh, you lazy degenerate, you have no family values, you have no this and that. We don't turn it into a story about you. We don't canonize the weaknesses that are evident in your people, but you canonize the weaknesses that are evident in our people. And you paint us all with a broad brush. I'll never forget this Afghan woman from California, non-black woman, Afghan woman. And what's fucking crazy is that people are talking about Somalis right now and how 88% of them are on welfare and how they're the second largest group in America on welfare by ethnicity. The number one group is Afghans. The number one group is from Afghanistan. And an Afghan woman sat there and said to me, well, at least Mexicans will do the job. You guys don't even want to work. Blah, 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 blah. You guys won't get a job at McDonald's. And I was a nanny for her sister. And she came to visit her sister. And we were road tripping from Indiana to uh, Houston, Texas. because we were moving. And so we stopped through, I want to say we stopped through Tennessee. And she had just in the previous state talked about how sorry Black Americans are and how we're not willing to work fast food and whatever else because we're so prideful. When we pulled into Tennessee, we stopped at a McDonald's and everybody working there was an American Negro. When I tell you that Afghan lady was so quiet, when I tell you you could hear a pin drop in that van, and she was a lawyer. So as an attorney, you realize your argument is on the ground, right? From one person to another and at every window. The employees here are all the African Americans you said who won't work McDonald's working at the McDonald's. You raggedy racist bitch. You nothing ass, short ass, fat ass bitch. It was glorious because I didn't have to say shit. 8 words. And you know what I was? I was a nanny. I was a nanny. Oh, Black Americans don't do these jobs, nigga. I was a nanny, a live in nanny. Left my home to go be a nanny, which, and I doubled up as a, because the woman's children were homeschooled. Who do you think had to help with homeschool? Who do you think had to help her create curriculum? And that woman was trying to pay me $400 a month. This was a while ago, but it was still pathetic. When we were in Indiana, $800 a month. Houston, she cut it in half and was picking up websites. Well, there are nannies all over Houston who only charge 400 a month. So what are you talking? I'm like, yeah, okay. Okay, Zora. Okay, Zora. Sure. So the reason she spoke to me like that is because she could pull that shit with a Mexican nanny. But I, as a Black American nanny, I'm like, this is bullshit. This is bullshit. What makes you think you can pay somebody in America $400 a month to be your live-in nanny, nigga? I'm with your kids day and night. I don't get a break. I go to bed and wake up to your children. But you know why she said to me, well, all over Texas, I can show you at least 3 different websites where people are only charging for it because Mexicans. That's why. And because Mexicans were willing to do it and because she could prove that she could pay somebody else to do it for that much, I was out of a job because there was always somebody willing to undermine me. I will do it for less, said the Mexican. So don't sit up here and like, oh, you're lazy. We work the jobs that you don't want to work because you've locked them into paltry income because you were willing to do them. You were willing to do them for pennies on the dollar. And we said there's no way to live like that. And hell, I'm not trying to come down hard on Mexicans. I'm just saying Mexican because the goddamn girl on the panel was Mexican and she wanted to talk so much shit about Black Americans. Well, you're just mad at us because we know how to hustle. Girl, we got mo songs that double as Negro spirituals about hustling. We got a whole damn dance called the hustle. Do the hustle. Dang, 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 da, dang, da, dang, 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 da, dang, da, dang. Like, girl, somebody's whole name. Oh, you can reach me at hustlehard@gmail.com. Every day I'm hustling, 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 hustling. Every day like, girl, don't do this. Don't do this. Again, we're the people familiar with black tax. We're the people who know what it is to work twice as hard to get half as much. And when we say, hey, you can go about it this way, we can fight back, we can whatever. It's like, nah, Holmes, y'all are ungrateful. Y'all just, okay, well, now you're stuck working six jobs because you were so grateful to be paid pennies for, I mean, God, some of these people who pick our fruit, they deserve so much more. Some of these Mexican families who are harvesting our crops, you deserve so much more for the labor that you kick out. But they know you won't require more for yourselves. Why do you think the white people were confused when they started doing this thing with ICE and they're like, oh, we're going to get our niggers back. We're just going to send the Mexicans away and the black people are going to come back to our farms. And we didn't show up and people had to burn their crops. You think lazy is the problem? Bullshit, because what black people are doing right now is returning to the South, buying land, homesteading. We're going right back to our ancestral roots in farming. We're going right back to compound living. Black people all over social media with their horses and their pigs and their chickens and their cows and their ducks, their collard greens and their watermelons and all the beautiful things that they're growing and selling in farmers markets and on the side of the road. You think you're the only people who sell fruit on the side of the road? You're not. You might be the only people in California with them oranges, but it's a watermelon man all over the South. It's a collard greens man all over the South. It's a Negro farm that everybody knows about and they're buying from him. You can't starve Black Americans in the South. They're still farming. In Seattle, Washington, when you look at construction, it's primarily Mexican, followed by white people, followed by like felon reintroducing felons to society program type shits. Like people from halfway houses getting jobs with them or whatever. And then you'll find a little woman holding a stop sign, getting paid 27, $28 an hour to hold a stop sign. You're not talking about how y'all lock us out of these jobs and how y'all refuse to hire us. You're not talking about this. You're not talking about how black people get ganged up on at the job, how everybody will be speaking Spanish on the job and the conversation goes over our head because we're not Spanish speakers. And how any mistake we do, Juan can make the same mistake 50,000 times and Jamal makes it once and he's out of there. You're not talking about that. So when you say we do the job that you're not willing to do, tell the whole story. It's not related to laziness. You are bankrupting yourself. Your energy as a human being, it's a limited resource. Your lifetime, your lifespan, limited resource. If you want to brag about working four and a half jobs, that's fine. But when it results in alcoholism and it results in child abuse and spousal abuse and all kinds of time incarcerated because you're fucked up because you don't have time to just rest, to just enjoy your family, take them to the park the way these white people do, the way these white dog walkers do, because they've got assets, they've got properties. Even if they have low income, they pay. It's not like they're paying rent; they own that house. Their mama got them that car; it's paid off. So some fancy free New York dog walker is working 5 days a week and then chilling somewhere painting, being creative like Frida Kahlo, painting stuff, selling her art. Because there's a time, and here you are, talented as fuck, could be giving birth to the next Elos Dinos, remixing Bitty Bitty Bum Bum and whatnot, but you're working 6 jobs. Okay. And you get to lord that over a black American's head who is like, it ain't enough. It ain't enough. So, respectfully, when you're bragging about these extremely low income odd jobs, carry this as context because this is what's really happening. Your community and other communities are undermining the fight of Black Americans. Thank God we were here in the 60s without so many of these extra groups because there wouldn't be any civil rights if you were here. And I'm not saying the Mexicans, I'm saying because they're not the only group who will undermine Black American movements. When we fight for something, they're like, well, that's them. I'll do it. I'll do it. Oh, they're protesting. Great. Hire me. I'll do it. I'll do it for half. I'll do it for a third. I'll do it. Look at you. You got no health insurance and your back is broke. You're working on a slip disc. Because if you stop working on that slip disc, how will you be able to provide? Exactly. Now, a Negro would have fought for you some damn health insurance, some damn life insurance, some damn dental and eye insurance. You ain't want to do that. So say that. Say that.